That special investigative piece, Where Are Our Children, by John Allen Namu, is coming up in this bulletin. Let's get the show started tonight. Where Are Our Children? That is coming to you in this bulletin, so please do stay tuned to part one of that tonight. Now, the families of two women killed by police during protests on Thursday at Darajambili Market in Kisii Town are still grappling with unanswered questions over the deaths. 21-year-old Edina Gesare and 24-year-old Hailin Kerubo were shot dead by administration police officers attached to the quick response team in Kisii County. Our South Nyanza reporter Fred Moturi visited the two families and now reports on their quest for justice.
When Geoffrey Maragi left the house in the morning, he was optimistic of meeting his 21-year-old wife Edna Gesare again in the evening after work as usual. The widow recounts his last communication with his wife a few minutes before she met her brutal death.
Sasa ikafika kitu kama saa 11 hivi, akanipigia simu akaniambia hakuna biashara hapa, nyanya sinunuliwi, mimi nimeenda kwa nyumba, ukikuja ulete mafuta, ulete na mboga. Nikamwambia sawa, nakuja.
Maragia is a boda operator in Kisii Town. He received the news of his wife's death from a neighbor.
Akanipigia simu akaniuliza pia kako kwa nyumba, nikamwambia bibi tumeongea naye mapema sana, ako kwa nyumba. Akaniambia epu enda mpaka hapo uone ajali imefanyikana hapo, ni kama ni bibi yako ama ni nini.
A postmortem report indicated that a bullet that hit Gesare was lodged in the upper left side of her chest.
Sasa mimi naomba serikali mtusaidie kwa hii maneno ya kifo ya mtoto wangu.
5 kilometers away is Oroche village, the home of the other victim, 24-year-old Hailin Kerubo. Her family is involved in plans to bury their loved one.
Hiyo risasi vile kutoka nyuma, mtoto wangu ni kama alikuwa anatoroka kutoka kwa hiyo kitendo, na risasi ikampata bila yeye kujua.
Kerubo died on arrival at Kisii Teaching and Referral Hospital after the police shooting. She leaves behind this young girl.
Watu hawana ziraha, hawana chochote. Kuna sheria ya kuruhusu askari achukue bunduki halafu aanze kupiga watu.
And as the burial preparations are underway, residents of Kisii Town have planned for a major demonstration on Monday to petition the government to prosecute the culprit. The bereaved families are asking for speedy investigations that can bring to book the policeman who fired the shot that killed the two. Fred Moturi, KTN News, Kisii.
Squatters living on a disputed piece of land at Mailitisa in Eldoret are now accusing the Kenya Defence Forces of denying them their rights in regard to land use. The KDF soldiers are accused of torturing the squatters. Elvis Koskei now reports.
Hundreds of squatters living on a disputed piece of land at Mailitisa in Uasin Gishu County gathered for the better part of the day along Eldoret-Kitale Highway. They were protesting against claims that they have been tortured and harassed by soldiers of the Kenya Defence Forces. According to the squatters, trouble started in April this year when they planted maize on a 30-acre piece of land, but soldiers from the Kenya Ordnance Factory under the Department of Defense reportedly uprooted their sprouting maize and replanted their seeds on the same plot, sparking protests.
Ni wajeshi wale walikuja kupanda mahindi juu ya mahindi yangu kutoka Kofu. Sasa nalia, sijui upande gani ataniangalia.
Si hata ukitaka kutoa mtu kuna kitu kinaitwa order ama kuna kitu kinaitwa notice. Mimi nalilia ng'ombe yangu mmoja ambaye nilikuwa na hiyo tu.
They further claim the military officers have been arresting them for trespass and illegal grazing, besides destroying their houses, with Teldet and Ainamoi villages being the most affected. According to the residents, attempts to resolve the issue with the Kenya Ordnance Management have been futile because the officers have rubbed them the wrong way. Turbo Deputy County Commissioner John Kinjo says they are seeking an amicable solution for the problem. He says they have received the reports of alleged harassment and trespass claims.
Yeah, but previously tumewaeleza kama if there are even issues, so unajua ni mambo ya squatters tu hii. If there are issues, we can even assist them. Okay. But badala ya ku deal directly na hawa raia squatters, sisi wangesema tuwasaidie, we can still help.
Area Member of Parliament Elisha Busienei says the government is determined to settle all the squatters in the country, saying the landless have suffered for long.
The issue of arrowing of the maize, of which I think it was very wrong. But that one, we cannot say that that one cannot pertain them to go for demonstrations. We are in the government, and we are going to talk with the government that before the team that they cannot mistreat us.
The squatters now want the government to move with great speed in containing the situation that is getting out of hand. Elvis Kosgei, KTN News, Maili 9, Uasin Gishu County.
Politics is all about numbers, or so they say. However, that adage may not hold water for the case of Vihiga County Governor Reverend Moses Akaranga. In the 2013 general election, only Akaranga and one MCA were elected on his Progressive People of Kenya's party ticket. And as we head to the 2017 elections, will the scenario be replicated both for Akaranga and maybe others in other parts of the country? On Spotlight 2017, our reporter Duncan Hayamba interrogates this further.
The past 4 years have seen governors in Kiambu, Embu, Makueni, Murang'a and Nyeri counties come under siege from MCAs elected on same party tickets. An indication that having a county assembly with a sizable number of MCAs under your same political party or coalition as governor is not a guarantee of a smooth sail. In Western Kenya's Vihiga County, Governor Reverend Moses Akaranga and only one MCA were elected under his Progressive People's Party of Kenya, only to walk right into a county assembly whose majority members had been elected under the then Musalia Mudavadi's UDF party.
The first 1.5 years I had problems, the same problems which these people have. But I called all these and any MCS. I told them, fine, I know you are not in my party. You are there, I'm this side. But at the end of the day, you must realize that me and you were both elected to serve the Wananchi. So you are not serving Akaranga, we must serve the Wananchi.
With only one elected MCA in the assembly, Akaranga admits it was not a walk in the park, and he realized only a change in strategy could save the day. Something had to give.
I don't want you to give me any favors, nor do I have to give you any favors. But let us work on a plan which will benefit our people on the ground. We agreed to work that way. And thank God, over 75% of those MCS saw that sense. And we started working together. We agreed now we do our development based on the wards. Sit down with the members of the county assemblies. We agree on the projects which should be done in various wards, even including those wards which this MCS rejected to work with me. I never left them out. Because at the end of the day, it's not this MCS, it's the people.
The UDF party had 16 elected MCAs plus 10 nominated ones, giving the party a majority of 26, while ODM has 7 elected MCAs. Akaranga's party, PPK, and Ford Kenya have 1 MCA each.
Whatever the case that be, that Honorable Akaranga had one MCA, that did not matter. what mattered most was what do we do and what does the Constitution say? What is the mandate of the Assembly? What is the mandate of the Governor? What is the mandate of the CCs or a cabinet, for this case, county government cabinet? And what is the mandate of the County Assembly Board? This has been a challenge, and I want to say we have been able to find out that it is not a supremacy war of issues to do with the number of members of Assembly that you have. It's a matter of the interest of the people you represent.
Order, members, order! As other county assemblies continue wrangling, latest on stage being Nairobi. For Vihiga, the next showdown is August 8th, 2017 at the ballot.
I'm happy because of that, we have been able to be rated amongst the best three, always. Executive has been always been rated amongst the best three. Assembly has always been rest almost one throughout, because we basically need to be accountable to what we are doing to the people of Vihiga.
I always believe that if you rely on a human being, you'll always fail. But put your trust to God, and God will lead you through.
The Maragoli, Banyore and Tiriki sub-tribe factors have influenced county politics. Governor Karanga comes from the dominant Maragolis, who are religiously guarding the position, which is being eyed by the Banyore, who are second in size, with the Tirikis in Hamisi sub-county acting as the swing vote. The church factor appears to have played a greater role as well.
Here in Vihiga County, the church plays a great role when it comes to issues to do with the politics. And I'll say not only Quakers and the PAG alone. We have African Divine Church. It's a big church. It is a big church here. We have Church of God. We have SEK in Bunyore. They also dictate the politics of this area. They do. And why I say the churches dictate politics of this area, because pastors preach every Sunday. All funerals are controlled by the pastors. And the people will listen to what the pastors say. So that's how it becomes critical that any person who abuses church in this area, that person will definitely fail.
Governor Karanga believes political parties will play an insignificant role in next year's general election, and Kenyans should expect a package of surprises across the board. Duncan Hemba for KTN News.
KANU Secretary General Nick Salat is accusing leaders affiliated to the Jubilee Party of misleading Kenyans. Salat was speaking at the AIC Chemogoch Church in Baringo County. He officiated over a funds drive for a construction project, and he accused Jubilee of intimidating the people to join the Jubilee Party in order to inspire the government to promote development in their regions. He said KANU is the only party with a rich history and an undisputed development track record.
Tusitishwe na mtu ambaye anatuambia ati ingia chama fulani ndio kama unalipa ndio uwe karibu na serikali. Kama unalipa ushuru na hiyo ushuru ndio inatumika kuleta maendeleo, usituambie ingia chama fulani ndio uingie karibu na serikali. Ndio maendeleo ifikie wapi? Kenya ni moja na wale walipa ushuru ni moja. So tunasema ya kwamba hii mambo ya kuambiwa hivi, kama wewe ni kiongozi ambaye uko na mpango ya kufaa ama uko na mpango ya kulete maendeleo Kenya hii, usituambie chama fulani. Wewe jiuze kama wewe, kama chama.
Now, in what some worshippers at the African Independent Pentecostal Church Munyanga in Othaya term as standard practice for the past 3 weeks, a section of the faithful has yet again been forced to conduct services outside the church building. They claim their faction has the blessings of the church's Archbishop Amos Mathenge. But every time they show up for worship, the other group is always inside the building, forcing them to worship out in the open.
At Munyanga AIPCA Church in Othaya, Nyeri County, a leadership row has resulted in two factions, roadside and open-air worshippers and those going about their business in church.
Ile ambayo iko ndani ni ya kiongozi ambaye anaitwa Stephen Kureja, ambaye alisimamishwa kuhusika katika kazi yoyote ya kikanisa.
Pastor Samuel Theuri claims his faction has been duly recognized by the church head, Archbishop Amos Madhenge. But the other group led by Munyanga Church Committee Chairman Stephen Kureja disagrees.
Iko watu walitoka kwa hii kanisa wakaenda wakatengeneza kanisa jingine la AIPCK. Walikuwa watu kama 15. Tena wakaenda huko wakafurua hiyo kanisa wakarudi kwa kanisa.
The worshippers in the open also claim the church chairman Stephen Kureja has been embezzling funds with two deacons irregularly ordained under his watch in blatant contravention of the church constitution.
Hawa watu wanasema ati chairman ndiye mwenye kukula pesa. Yule mtu ageuriswa ni mimi sababu ndiye mwenye kuandika na treasurer yako ndiye mwenye kutoa pesa.
This state of affairs has persisted for about 3 weeks with intervention from the church headquarters hitting a snag.
Sababu wengine wako na vijana wao wanataka wawe ordained. Na niseme hivi, hatuwezi tu tukaordain mtu ovyo tu. Ati mtu atolewe kwa kishaka alafu akuje hapa ndio awe ordained.
Tutashiriki hapa nje mpaka kiongozi mkuu wa kanisa aje hapa atatue shida ya kanisa.
For now, the situation remains tense. A church split in two, plainclothes policemen hanging around to keep the peace as separate worship sessions take place. Mark Namaswa, KTN News.
Newcomer Joram Lumbasi and reigning World Half Marathon champion Perez Chepchirchir are the winners of the 10th Family Bank Half Marathon that was held in Eldoret today. The duo braved the scorching sun in the newly redesigned course that has 3 loops within the town streets. Lumbasi, who won Chemasusu 10-kilometer run last month, emerged the men's winner even as the 2008 World 5,000-meter silver medalist Matthew Kisorio breathed down his neck. He broke away from the leading pack at the 16th kilometer to beat Robert Kemboi and Festus Chebo to 2nd and 3rd respectively. In the women's front, Chepchirchir strolled to victory ahead of Jocelyn Jepkoskei and Ruth Cheriot. Vivian Kiplagat, Agnes Barsosio and Naomi Mayo checked in 4th, 5th and 6th respectively.
Ilikuwa mzuri, haikuwa mbaya. I thank God for winning it. I was not expecting to win, but I have win. I thank God.
Nicholas Kirui and Marion Limo beat off stiff competition in their respective races to emerge winners of the 2016 edition of the Peter Mullai's Half Marathon. The Peter Mullai's Half Marathon that entered its 6th edition was held at the People's Park in Machakos and saw athletes compete in the 5-kilometer fun race, the 10-kilometer race, as well as the 21-kilometer race for both men and women. Nicholas Kirui shook off other stiff competitors to bag the 2016 title in a time of 1 hour, 2 minutes 51, ahead of Nicodemus Kirui and Patrick Mutunga. In the women's race, Marion Limo bagged the title, beating Edith Chelimo and Chepngetich Keter to 2nd and 3rd.
Evento hii ni race yangu ya 10K ya pili.
Zile zilikuwa ngumu kwa sababu Kenya inakuanga na wanariadha wengi, lakini Mungu akaniwezesha nikashinda.
Impala Saracens will meet KCB RFC in the finals of the Impala Floodlit tournament after edging out Kenya Harlequins 13-11 in a close encounter played at the Impala grounds. Both teams could not break each other's resilience in the first half as Lyle Asiligwa and Neto Simiu ensured a 3-all draw at the break. However, in the second half, Impala proved to have more edge to get the 13-11 win. Earlier on, defending champions KCB had booked a slot in the finals after getting a narrow 28-26 win over Nakuru RFC.